Okay, folks, thank you so much for showing up. Today is March the 29th, and it is our monthly training. And this month, we have the pleasure of having past District Governor Len Day from Canada talking to us today about how to grow your club. And let me just tell you a little bit of a history on he and I. When I was going through training, I went to Calgary, Canada, for this training for the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute, and Len was one of our instructors. And so we've been talking ever since. We see each other at different events and say hello. So when I reached out to different people throughout the year prior to this one, looking for instructors, I called Len and I said, Len, hey, in March, would you like to do a class for us? He said, absolutely. Didn't hesitate a second. So anyway, that's what understand. That's what you run into when you reach out to people in Lions, are people like Len. And so I had not one person tell me no. So anyway, thank you so much for showing up today, Len. I'm going to throw it to you, and then folks, when this is all done, I'll end the recording, and then I'm going to put it on YouTube so that you can access it. If you have anybody in your clubs that wants to see what the class is about, have them go to that. All of the classes from throughout the entire year are already posted there. So anyway, Len, you're on.
I'm Len Day. I'm like Adam said, I'm a past district governor from Canada. I live in Ontario. Our multiple was the multiple that made Lions Clubs International when the Windsor Border City Lions Club formed, and then that became Multiple District A. So we are the first multiple district outside of the United States, and I'm very proud to be a 40-year Lion. Again, Adam and I met at the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute in Calgary, and we've kept in contact. And whenever we're at any of the USA Canada leadership forums or any of the conventions, or when he was at his district governor elect training, we got to see each other, reconnect, and it's a pleasure for me to be able to be with you and the Lions of Nevada tonight. It was great coming down to your USA Canada Leadership Forum, and just some beautiful scenery. And the great state of Nevada is one of the places we like to do some vacationing. So thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to share my screen and my PowerPoint with you. So
Now,
you'll have to let me on to that or
yeah,
share me as a host.
let me see. Let me get there real quick. Linda, let's see. And there you go.
Oh, I don't need to be seen. So you can see the screen.
Is it working, Lynn?
Yeah, I just got to get
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
right screen open here.
So embarrassed.
There, is that looking right on the screen right now for you?
Well, yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. Oh,
We see it.
It seems to have some blockage of the screen a bit, though, of the slide.
yeah, I'm just going to what happened here? I'm just going to go back and restart that. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. They're fine with it. I told them this class was going to be 3 hours, so we're good. I didn't tell him that, Len.
Okay, so growing your club. Now, the most important thing when you're looking at trying to grow your club is your club ready to grow, or is your club kind of set in its ways and not wanting to change? So again, I'm our district and global extension team coordinator. I've been a group leader. I'm LSEP, and I've got a lot of training. I've been a new club consultant in Canada with Lions International. I've been a membership, and so I've done a lot of work over the years with new club development and membership growth. So hopefully I can share some information that will help you. So today's objectives will be understanding the need to grow and how eventually do we get to grow. So I like to think of our Lions Club as a three-legged stool, and without each leg being very strong, we need to have a very strong membership, leadership, and service. And when we have lots of membership, that allows us to do more service and allows us to develop more leadership. So when we have good leadership, it allows us to grow our membership. It allows us to grow our service. And then again, when we have good service projects and good service activities, people want to join because they see us doing things in the community that's making the community better. And then those service activities grow the leadership, and we can grow the service, and it's just an ongoing cycle. So I really think if you have one, you have to have all of them, and that's the most important key factor, I think, to growing our clubs. So let's look at, why do we need to grow our clubs? We definitely want to have a future. We want our clubs to exist. We want new clubs to succeed. We want them to grow, add new members, add new service. We want those new clubs to develop leaders. We want those leaders to go on into preparing other Lions as they come in. So we want our clubs to be here 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years into the future. So growing our club is essential because if we don't grow our clubs, we can't provide the needed service that we as Lions provide on a daily basis. And unfortunately, in today's society, there's lots of things affecting us from all over. We need to have very strong clubs because we have lots of issues that us as Lions can help with other people. And we want to make sure that we represent our community. So if we look at our club, do we look like a cross section of our community, or are we all just white Anglo-Saxons, or do we have a cross section of the dynamics of our community? So that's a good, important way to look at us as Lions and making sure that we reflect the community we live in. Any questions so far?
Are we going to break down each one of those legs of that stool? Will we be able to?
Yeah, we can do that, and we will do some. I do have parts of this that we're going in those directions.
Because I have a question about service when it's time. You want me to ask it?
Sure.
Okay,
go ahead and ask it anytime, right?
So my club, I think we are a great representative of the community. The dynamics of the community, and we're growing for sure. But we really have one service project and one service project only. And I'm really feeling the pull just internally that we need to branch out and do some other things. I was explaining about the medical missions to other places. That one hasn't happened yet. The members are there, but I personally want to do more within our club. And so I think I want to do a club health evaluation to see if the other people feel the same way. Is it your feeling that if you we have a really good, strong project, but if that goes away, we're done. We have nothing.
Yeah, we kind of diversify our service in my own club, and we kind of do lots of different activities, right? And coming up next week, we're doing a big food drive. Every month, we prepare. The last Thursday of every month, we prepare 250 meals for the homeless, for both an adult homeless shelter and a youth kind of where kids have some issues. So we take 60 meals to the Youth Haven Center, and we take about 190 meals to the homeless shelter. And then we do some tree plantings. We have that project in Guatemala that like there's probably 4 from our club that go down and help build homes in Guatemala for people. We kind of try to diversify a little bit more because that's a way that you can attract more members too. Because like we have the Lions Foundation of Canada, which is our guide dog program here. We have several different aspects of the guide dogs. So we have a hearing ear dog, a vision dog, autistic awareness dog, diabetes awareness. So we have our walk, and we have some members that just work on that walk, right? So, we've got, is it important for members to go to every activity? Probably not, but, if we can accept the membership that we get when they can give their service, then, they might be able to find something that they're interested in. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but
okay.
I think diversifying your service and that is a good thing. Just getting back, we used to give the local food bank here a couple $100 at Thanksgiving, a couple $100 at Easter, and maybe a couple $100 at Christmas or something like that. So now we go out and we do like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we set up a cube trailer and we fill that trailer up from Wednesday till Saturday. We end up giving the food bank 2,000 or 3,000 pounds of food and another $2,000 or $3,000 worth of cash. So,
wow,
just doing that service and getting the community a little bit more involved, we're giving them a lot more than that little $200 donation. Although that was a good donation for them and that helped a bunch of families, doing a project like that a couple times a year helps them a lot more, right? Because that 6,000 or the 3,000 pounds of food, that's 3,000 meals, and then that $3,000 in cash, that's another like $4,000 in meals. So you're ending up doing like 7,000 meals over 4 days, right? So
wow,
yeah, it's just got to start. If you look at things a little differently, then things happen to progress, and you end up serving more people, and then you have more people involved in running the program as well.
Nice, thank you.
So, so let's think about when we're looking at growing our membership, what kind of qualities of members do we want to have in our club? And just go ahead and list some off, everybody, and we'll think about it, and you can just pop them out and we'll write them down.
Let's see. Committed.
Yep.
Honest.
Have a passion for giving service.
Okay, passion. Someone said honest.
Honesty.
Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Don't be afraid. There's no wrong answers. The only bad answer is the one that wasn't given. So I try to draw a lot of people, get more in participation so that we all learn a little different as adults, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 2 or 3
They have
things.
money to pay dues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about dues and how like what's it cost? It's about $100, isn't it, a year for dues? And if you break that down, that's a couple cups of coffee a month, and we can look at ways to help people with that. We don't have to pay all that at once. And for us, we have to add another 18 or 20% onto that because our dollar's not quite as what it used to be 10 years ago. So, I think I've gotten more than that $100 a year out of the programs that I've been able to participate in, the the personal development that I've got, all the online training that's been available to me, and the fact that I get to do events like this where, I'm speaking with a bunch of different lions and making new friends from the other side of North America, because I live over on the East Coast, right? I'm in Ontario, just north of Toronto, so 2 hours roughly from Buffalo. So here's what I've put down as some of the other characteristics. So service minded, I think we had someone said that. Enthusiastic, team players, friendly. We want friendly lions. It's not good to go to a meeting and have someone scowl at you. Optimistic, and supportive. Good communicators. They're creative, right? Coming up with new ideas. They have good values centered around our Lions Code of Ethics, and they're willing to learn. And I think if we get people with those type of characteristics, then our clubs will grow because they're the same type of people that we are, and we want to attract those type of individuals that are willing to make their community, the world, and a lot better place. So growing our club allows us to provide more service. And these are just like a bunch of different pictures that my club does. So we have a food drive. We do a barbecue, for a community barbecue that we supplied the people power for, to celebrate one of the community groups. So we'll be there with our lion stuff on, and we're cooking the hot dogs for the group, and they supply the hot dogs. And our food drive and our breakfast program, we supply breakfast every Fridays. We do environmental cleanups. We plant trees. Our Guatemala building project. So again, we ask our members, and we try to make sure that our members are listened to, because it's nothing worse than asking a person to join and say, yeah, if you join our club, you can have an input in what we do as a club. And then if you don't follow up with that input, then you're not going to make them feel that their membership is valuable.
Amen.
Okay, so how to grow our club or your club, right? We want to be seen at local events. And like if you seen that that example of what the Seal Beach Lions clubs do, no wonder they're at 400 members or thereabouts. Like if there's an event in their town, they have lions there in their Lions gear saying, hey, the Lions are here. It doesn't matter if it's a Rotary event, a Kiwanis event, a Chamber of Commerce event, the Seal Beach Lions are always there. And if we can do that same type of thing in our local communities where they always see the Lions there, then people are going to say and investigate what we actually do. And then when they see us doing good work in the social media, by word of mouth, and with our community involvement, people will want to join. And of course, if we're looking at ways and the type of people we want to go, we've got the old growth wheel, right, where we look at a list of names from community leaders, relatives, colleagues, friends, business people, neighbors, local professionals, people in our churches, or people that we know from friends and colleagues. So that's all a good base of where to look for new people and who you could be talking to. We want to also grow our clubs to ensure fellowship and fun, right? There's a group of us and a bunch of Lions, and when we get together, and Daniel right there says it the best, right? If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And we want to make sure that when we're doing things, we're having fun. We may work hard, and then after we have some kind of a social activity to celebrate our successes. And your Lions should be hopefully people that you wouldn't mind hanging out on a weekend and having a barbecue with, maybe a pop or something else, whatever, hanging out, doing some events with, because a lot of my friends are people that I've met through Lions, and hopefully I can bring some of my friends into the Lions program and my Lions into my own program. So, and then, of course, how do we get those people? You have to have an elevator speech, but don't use the same elevator speech on everyone. You kind of have to. The first thing you should say is something like, "Hi, I'm a member of ABC Lions Club. Have you heard anything about the Lions, or do you know anything about the Lions?" And if they say yes or no, then give them a quick little, well, Lions do, and then list off our global causes, and are any of those something that you're passionate about? Yes. And then start directing it. It's a young lady. We do a lot of programs with youth, and we help with childhood cancer and diabetes awareness, and we send kids to camp, and we do, so make your speech, or when that little intro that you're meeting this person, make it directed towards their aspects and not your aspects, so that you can then build on their passions.
Hey, Len, we had Brian Sheehan came to our last cabinet meeting. And I want to remind people who were there and tell people that weren't there, he said on your elevator speech, what you can do is ask them, so what is it that you're passionate about doing?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter what they say. You say, that's what our club does.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what our club does.
Yeah, that's exactly what Lions do. We do that and so much more, right? That's the great thing, is every club gets to pick and choose, and they get to look at ways to make things better for people that need to have life made a little bit better for them. So, you can talk about your service work, talk about your community, how you fit into your community, how you're involved in your community, right? Because there's our Lions community, and then there's the community that you serve as well, right? Because you have a huge Lions community. It's the whole state of Nevada, right? So right from the south to the very top, and from east to west, and just into California a little bit as well, from my recollection of what I've been told. Now, myself, we are like the central Ontario area. We have a lot of the people with summer houses. We have a lot of rural community. We have some urban community. My own city is about 150, 160,000 people. Then we have smaller little communities, and every little hamlet all throughout the area has a Lions Club of some sort in. It's important to explain, like, that we find needs and we fulfill them for people. And then, of course, we want to grow our new leaders. We want to have those leaders for tomorrow, because we all know what it's like to get somebody to take on a service project or just to become club president. Everyone's afraid of it, but if they have a good understanding, then people aren't so afraid of it. And that all gets into a good orientation session, learning about what the Lions in the district do, what Lions International does, the programs that we support, and how many people we help a year. So some Lions Club resources, and just ask. A very good a very good booklet for recruitment, giving ideas on doing different recruitment. And again, it's always a lot better to bring that individual you want to join out to a service activity, a fundraiser, rather than your club meeting when you're changing your club constitution. Man, that's got to be probably the worst thing. Or when you're doing a debate on whether or not you should be giving a couple $100 to a different organization to get those new people and growing your club. Get them involved in the fun things first, and then they can get involved in the Lions. I helped start a new Lions club, and they put a guiding lion in, and he changed the complete aspect of what we were trying to do with them. We were having them perform service and, just having fun and getting input. And then he all of a sudden said, "Oh, but we got to do all this reporting. Let them become Lions. Let them get used to the stuff. Let them get used to the things that we as Lions do." And then you can slowly introduce, especially in a new club development, slowly introduce all the bookkeeping and all the filling out of forms and that stuff to once they get more familiar and explain the reasons for putting that service in. So again, we don't want to overload people. We want to make it feel comfortable. We don't want to try and attract people at the local mall wearing, our vest with 1,000 pins on. That's great. I have 3 or 4 of those. But if I'm talking to individuals about joining Lions, I'm probably, depending where I am, I'm in a golf shirt or a dress shirt with a Lions logo on it, wearing my pin and my name tag. And I'm letting them know that, hey, I'm just kind of another person just like you. And we want to find ways to help people in need, build a better community, and change the world for people.
Len, don't you do a thing called Wear It Wednesday?
Yeah, that's something that it started in A2, which is down the Niagara Falls, just the district that runs across the top of Lake Erie. And they started that, and then we've spread that across the whole multiple, and now it's going into other places. So every Wednesday we wear some kind of Lions, clothing, whether it's a golf shirt, a jacket, a ball cap, just something that shows people that we're Lions. And then, of course, you'll remember that my good friend Chris Lewis that passed away, we have the Chris Lewis Day of Service, and our district tries to have every club in the district do a service project on the first Saturday in May, and that is the Chris Lewis Day of Service. And when Chris was going through and becoming governor, that was his goal. His year was to promote more service and have each club, instead of clubs doing some different types of things like fundraisers or have a day where we can dedicate all the Lions in the district to a service project. It can be whatever you want, but let's try to give something back that day instead of asking people to give us some money. So I know a lot of clubs, and that's taken some stuff. I know, Adam, you talked about doing that with your club, and we've had other Lions from all over North America and some places in Europe actually doing some stuff. And now Lions Clubs International have their 3 weeks of service, right? So those are always great events. So when we do those types of things, people see us and they see us making an impact, and they see us making a difference. Not, people want to join clubs that make an impact right away. Yes, we can do projects that take 3 or 4 or 5 years, but people like to get out, do something that they can put 2 or 3 hours into if they have to, and at the end of the day, feel like they've accomplished something that's going to be a positive influx in the community.
We have decided as a club that we will not invite people to a meeting first. We invite them to our project so they can see what the end result is. because everything going into that is very labor intensive. And if you bring them into that, they go, oh, geez, I don't want to do that. But when they see the outcome, they go, oh, my goodness, how do I get involved in that?
Yeah, and and a lot of the younger people, right? Because the demographics, today's 18 to 25, 30-year-olds are a lot closer in demographics to the people that would be in their 60s and 70s. They have that feeling of wanting to help people, where those 30 to 40-year-olds were more about me, right? So it's just those younger people have a lot similar values to the grandparents, right? So they feel better when they do something and it's a couple hours, like I've said, like food drives or planting trees or park cleanups, or eyeglass collection, going out and having people drop off eyeglasses and all those types of projects. And it's and then at the end of it, after an hour or two, they feel, wow, we really accomplished something. So that's kind of the way that growing our membership and growing our service can help bring all those things back together. So what other reasons would we have to bring in or grow our membership? Anybody?
Reasons to grow it?
Yeah. Now, we talked about some. Are there any other reasons that we'd like to grow our members, right?
Well,
you won't wear out the members that do everything now. You have a handful of people from your club that do everything, and to get new people in there, to get them interested so you don't burn out the worker bees in your club.
Yeah. So was it last year? I think it was last year. This was a good question. They had this at the International Convention. What could your club do with 5 new members? Mm-hmm. Right. So, whether it's taking on a new service project, stopping the burnout, right? Those are all things that we have to think about, because it is an issue when you have 5 people that are doing a lot of the heavy load, but we want to share that. And, sometimes we need to say, Bill, you're like at everything. You need to take a break. We want you to be a Lion in 3 years, but if you continually do what you're doing, you're going to burn yourself out and you'll be gone, or you're going to be in the hospital because, you get some of our more senior members that try to take on more and more. And, sometimes you have to look out for their best interests and their health as well, right? And that's very important in looking after our club. So again, we're looking at that stool. We go back to that stool, that 3-legged stool. We've got membership. So we want to have strong members. So when we have strong members, we have lots of members. When we increase our members, we get new ideas. When we get the new ideas, we can start putting new service projects into effect. We gain more members because we have now increased the diversity of our service. So we're not just doing maybe a food pantry, but we've taken on an environmental project, or we've taken on an eyeglass recycling project, or we're doing vision screening, or we're doing something else that allows more people to share their passion. And then when we have strong service projects in multiple different areas, we need to have more leaders, right? Because we have to have someone, because a leader isn't just a person that's going to run the meeting. A leader is somebody that's going to be there helping set up that service project, or getting the volunteers to commit to that service project and putting the plan together. And when we start looking at growing our leadership, then that allows other opportunities for the everyday Lion to get involved in other activities. And, there's nothing worse than having that secretary for life, that treasurer for life, or a multiple year president, because it's stopping other people from developing new skills. I can tell you, when I first started Lions, I wouldn't have been very comfortable talking in front of a large crowd. And then I went on. I had people believe in me. I got training from our district officers. I went to multiple district trainings, and I grew. And I grew not just because of the work that we did in our communities, but I grew personally, and I grew with my speaking opportunities. I grew in a lot of different ways that helped me personally, and it also helped me to grow the organization. And I know some of you are past district governors, and you'll remember, I don't know, I've always told that you're a district governor for 1 year, but you're a past district governor for life, and you're not there to take the show over. You're there to guide and help those incoming district governors have a successful year. And realistically, the more success we can have, the more ways we can get our clubs to get the Club Excellence Award, to do meaningful service, because meaningful service is very important, right? Meaningful, relevant service is probably the key factor in our whole organization. We joined a service organization, not a dinner organization.
Yep.
Okay. Now let's take a bit of time. Take yourself, write up, get your pen, and just list 3 or 4 people that you think would be good Lions and people that you should ask to join Lions. And I've done the same thing. I've written down a list of people, and this will give you a spot to start your growth opportunities.
I'm finding it interesting. I've just written 2 names that I have asked these guys over and over and over again. I'm going to wear them down.
And you may want to look at, people that like your posts when you post about your Lions Club, right? When you say, oh, we were doing this weekend, and one of your friends likes it or comments on it. Those are people that we should be asking, because they've already taken the initiative to look at it. And here's just a list of people that I've put down. Kevin Nunny, he goes to Guatemala with us. He's not a Lion. He's a member of my church. But, I'm working on him to become a Lion, because he shares a lot of the same values that we do. He loves our Guatemala project. He arranged for Lions Club logos to be engraved on stainless steel, and we put each of those on each of the homes we finished. So he's pretty close to being a Lion. Debbie G, another lady that I know, she always likes our stuff, so I continue to talk to her about Lions. She likes about 3 or 4 of our club's posts every week. So when we talk to her, I explain, Debbie, these are things that you could be doing with us, and you could be making the community better. And she goes, yeah, I'm just dealing with my dad. Once I get him into or out of his house and into a retirement home, then I'll probably get there, because she's dealing a lot with him and his health issues. But, Steve Stein, a buddy of mine from high school, every so often he comes over and he says, we need to talk. Let's go for a coffee, and then we'll have a coffee and talk about things. Right? I've got a list of 10 people here that I deal with on a normal basis that I got to keep asking, and hopefully.
Hold on just a second.
People we know
Hey,
are
Irving,
the same age.
Hey, I'm going to mute you, Irv. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so
go ahead, Len.
One of them is one of our past district governor's wives. She said, "No, I don't want to be a Lion." But you know what? Sometimes if it comes from one of his friends rather than him, right? Maybe she decides that, hey, this is the year she wants to be a Lion. She does a lot of quilting. She does a lot of activities. She helps people. She does stuff with childhood cancer. So she's already doing Lion stuff. Plus, she comes out to the events. So, Sue, it's time you signed up and took the oath. So there's all kinds of different people. just get that list, add, subtract to them, but keep that list fluent, and so that we can that you can continue to work on it. Do you have any questions right now? Oh, okay. Okay, so our objectives today were to understand the need to growth. Did we meet those? Did you learn some reasons why we need to grow as Lions, and why we need our clubs to grow, and our membership to grow, and our service to grow, and our leadership to grow?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And did you see how we can do that through the service that we provide, the things that we do in the communities, making sure people are aware of what we're doing and being seen doing meaningful thing? Did we do that?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
I think we did, right? So, okay. So, thank you. That's my contact information. Feel free. Give me a call. Give me an email. I'm always available. I get back to you. I'm never afraid to say that I don't know an answer, but I will try and find the answer for you. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I hope you found it worthy and worthwhile, and that you learned something. And let's hope that you can continue to grow your clubs so that we can continue to be the largest and most active service organization in the world. Remember, when we're looking at that 1.5 mission statement, that's only a net 2 growth in every club in the world. So it's not outrageous. We can do it with your help. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Folks, I'm going to stop the participant sharing, if that's okay. There. Oh, he did it. Okay. Awesome. So how have you guys, are you folks experiencing growth, or are you going backwards a little bit?
Well,
right now, our district is sitting kind of flat, right? So we've been kind of staying pretty flat. We've got some clubs that are going up, and other clubs that aren't doing the work, right? Again, we have one club the other club in Barrie. I'm in the Barrie South Lions Club, and we have the Lions Club of Barrie. They're an older group. They do a lot of check writing. They don't get seen doing a lot of work. We end up getting a lot of contact for people asking about stuff that their club's doing, because they don't have a good Facebook presence. They don't have a good website presence. So the stuff gets defaulted to us. So in our city, if you do a search for Barrie Lions Club, it comes up with our club, because we're always posting and sharing what we're doing, and the other clubs struggling to do that. So we're trying to help them grow their club by helping them with some of their smaller participation stuff, right? So
sure. How about anybody else? Are we?
There's the
what are we,
Me.
Hi, it's Marcia.
Yeah,
Is it Marcia?
I'd like to just speak to that. There's both. Leslie and I belong to both two different clubs. Okay, one in Las Vegas and one here in Pahrump, in a small town. So we've got issues with both of them. Okay, my feeling is that the guiding lions are worthless, and they shouldn't be. We should train our guiding lions better to understand the situations that go on in the clubs, to be able to come in and help the clubs, even though they may not want it. But just to kind of sit back, see what's happening with the clubs, and then make suggestions on how they could improve it. Okay, because guiding lions now come in and they really don't do a whole lot. And
I don't think a lot of people understand that whole role, right?
And it needs to be more of an educational type thing where they can help them see what is the problem, and maybe help them improve on their dynamics of the club.
So you think it should go further than simply the training you're getting?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It drives me crazy when you have a whole room full of people that are getting guiding lions and they have no place to go. So they get the education, they get their certificate, and they're gone. No, it needs to be more of an education that's maybe led by the district governor, and always a contact with the district governor if they're helping a club. If they're having problems in helping the club or whatever, there should be a form of communication to help those clubs that are having problems. Like I say, we belong to two different clubs, and they both have issues that could be resolved, but it's really tough when you got, especially with a small town where we are. They run it this way all the time, and this is who does what and how and why, and there's no getting around that.
Yeah, so, and a lot of the problems too I see is
somebody come in and say, well, this is kind of what you need to do to kind of move forward and get new members, and energize.
Yeah, some of the times you get a guiding lion that comes from a club, and the new club may not be a standard type club, and they may not have dinner meetings, right? And he's coming in and saying, "Oh, you got to have 2 dinner meetings a month. You got to have your board of directors meeting, and you got to spend all this time in meetings." Where some of the new clubs that come in are more focused on providing different service activities, and they find ways to minimize the amount of meetings they have so that they can perform more service. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think some of the guiding lions need to take a better look at our club, our way, and allow them to kind of go in a different direction. And right, that guiding lions to be there to make sure that the funds are going in the right accounts, and they're doing things that they should be doing as lions, and giving them advice on how to increase their membership, the service, and their leadership responsibilities. So very good point.
Hey, Kevin.
Marie, I think you had your hand up as well, right?
Oh, Marie. Sorry, Kevin.
But it was on something totally different. And in our club, we have grown 3 members this past year, and I'm working on several more right now. What I try to do to retain them is to make it fun. We have a service project, and there's nothing better than taking them out to dinner afterwards.
Yeah, and that's where I got back into the right. If you don't want to be social with your members, then perhaps your members are the wrong members, right? Because you want to be able to socialize with the different members in your club, enjoy their company, and that way you all work a little bit harder to have the successes that you really want.
I find we're not also aware of, we have to replace our older members that have passed on. And that's where it gets a little sticky in a lot of the clubs, because we're all getting older and we have to address that issue.
So, Kevin, what I hope you're getting from this is that, number one, it's hard to even focus on the fact that you're in such a beautiful place that looks fake behind you.
I know it does. I haven't even had a chance to explore. I'm so thrilled.
It is gorgeous.
Oh God.
Anyway, I want you to, I hope you're understanding and getting the message that, number one, Lions, we're very serious about what we do, but a lot of thought goes into how things happen, and you have ultimate say in how that functions, and you want to set it up right as you go forward. The very first time, try to do the best you can, but don't be afraid to change things up a bit. Okay. Don't let your club fall into a rut where we've always done it this way. We have to do it this way. There's some good things to be said about your club, your way. And then there are some issues that I have with your club, your way. But understand, I hope you get the message that, we all do things a little bit differently, and we all have different, every club is different. Every member is different. Sure. Len brought up Seal Beach. Mm-hmm. And when I was district governor, I talked about Seal Beach. And I said, I went to a meeting there one time, and it was incredible. Len, have you ever been to one of their meetings?
Oh, I had one of the people that did my Certified Lions instructor program was from that club, and it just was amazing listening to him.
I went to this club, and it was in a yacht club. It was in this big bar area. Mm-hmm. They didn't drink there. There was no drinking. There was no eating. They didn't have time. That place was packed from front to back, side to side. There were no more chairs. I don't know how I got a chair. Standing room only. And they said, "So you're a brand new member. Welcome. What do you want to do?" "Well, I want to do this, this, and this." "Okay, get a few more people that want to do it with you. Go do it. Come back and report and tell us how it went. Next. It was just constant. It was constantly embracing new members and new ideas. And I think that is the key. I mean, they're just massive.
Great advice. I love the CLB. I love that whole concept. So thank you.
Yeah. And you have all of these people that you're seeing here, the district, people outside the district that are there to help you, especially Terry Rubald. She's been the driving force there, right?
Absolutely.
And you seem very motivated, but we're all here to help. If you have questions, if you have needs, if you just want to try something new, you let us know.
Beautiful. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Kathy, you look like you want to say something. Oh, okay. Irving, what do you have to say? What do you think?
Oh.
There you go.
We just got to work at it. We tend to get lazy, and we just have to work at it and ask people. Just worst they can say is no. So it's like sales. You keep on asking until somebody says yes, and you just go on from there. But it's a pleasure to finally see Kevin here. I've been working with him a little bit about along with Terry to start a club in his area. So
well, let me give you some words of advice from the renowned philosopher Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. Wayne says, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
See, Kathy, you did want to say something.
Yes. Well, I didn't didn't unmute me fast enough. One of the things about Seal Beach is they're really visible. That's one of the things that I'm seeing that we're missing out on right now. Too much of the stuff we're doing isn't visible. And one of the clubs I used to belong to a long time ago, which wasn't even Lions, we would go out and make hot dogs for different openings. We had so much fun that we attracted membership just because we were out there giving away hot dogs and having fun. We're not doing enough visible stuff. We're doing too much within Lions and not enough community. Anything we're doing in community right now has not been really visible. And that's one thing that Seal Beach is doing so successfully. Everything that happens in Seal Beach has Lions involved and visible.
Think about wearing, I really like the Wear It Wednesday, but I'll tell you, I don't leave my house without this pin, a pin of some sort. And I'll tell you, I went to a gas station, and a man goes, he was from India. He goes, "Oh, you're a Lion." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I was a Lion in India." I said, "Well, why aren't you a Lion in the United States?" "Well, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where there was one." I said, "Come to my meeting." And he came to my meeting that night. It's a conversation starter. Y'all know past district governor out of our district. Oh my gosh, he passed away. He was oh my gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, he was here in Reno, and somebody tells a story that one time they were driving under a bridge on 4th Street, and y'all don't know that area, but it's not a great area. And our homeless shelter's right down the street from where he was. And he always wore a suit. Always, constantly wore a suit.
Sounds like great.
Ray Pezzanella. That's what I was thinking of. Ray Pezzanella. You know, if you know Ray, he was always in a suit. He always looked very professional. One day, this lady was driving by, and there was Ray underneath that bridge with a barbecuer. And he just set up an impromptu barbecue and was feeding the homeless as a lion by himself, just out doing it. You know, one of the things that I think about when I think about Ray and people like Ray is we need to be looking for people not only with good character and that are all of the things that we talked about, they need to be fearless. Lions are fearless. And Ray was fearless, you know? And as I look around this room here, you're the example of fearlessness. Because I've worked with each and every one of you, not yet with Kevin, but I've worked with each and every one of you. You are all fearless. And we need to be recruiting people like ourselves. So.
Adam, can I say something?
No, you hit your quota.
Yeah.
He can hit my quota.
Of course you can.
Something to think about, because it's kind of related to what Kathy has said. And what I said previously. How many of you have heard anything that the Rotarians have done? How many of you have heard anything that the Kiwanians have done? How about the Knight of Pythians or the Masons? The Elks. Have you heard anything that they've done?
Not really.
Actually,
Okay,
yes, we have some.
So a lot of it is, as Kathy says, communication. And that's why I had said when you particularly do a fundraiser, not so much the service projects, but when you do a fundraiser, you got to ask people, would you be interested in helping us raise more money by being a lion? Because the people we serve probably would not make, most of them anyways, would not make good lions. But on the fundraising, we need to promote ourselves a little bit more.
Well, our club is growing a lot. And one of the things that we're doing, because, you know, we give out computers to children, that's all we do. So we have started going down the road of trying to recruit computer professionals and telling them that knowledge of our operating system, which is a Linux-based operating system, and our new operating system that we're working with the Center for Internet Security on, we're saying, look, you can put that on a resume. That looks good. And if you help us develop this new operating system, your name will be attached to that. And I'll be darned, it's working. You know, I mean, our club, we're right at 40 members now, which we haven't been at 40 members since I've been a Lion. So we're doing something right. We could do so much more right, though.
Hey, Adam?
Yes, Carol.
Adam? I've been thinking. I'm very inspired by all of this. I've always been very interested in membership and very frustrated because, as the saying goes, when you do something over and over again and get the same result, what does that mean? It's insanity. We are trying to recruit people who know that they should be helping, but, you know, their time of life and everything is such that they're either busy raising a family or, you know, they're retired and they're tired. What if we went towards the other end of the age spectrum, get into the high schools? Kids, I've worked with kids. I've been very involved with young people, not just kids in high school, but, you know, college kids. They have a sympathy and an empathy for people in need, where other people are so busy with life that, you know, they just don't have time for it now. What if we started promoting interest in that age range? the comment was made that the, what was it, 20-year-old to, well, whatever, the late teens to 20-year-olds are anxious to help. I would love to see something started at that end of the age spectrum.
It's true. And I want you guys to be thinking about, I've been talking in the last 6 months, 8 months about this Just Serve organization that we use. And we have, Len, if you don't know about Just Serve, I'll talk to you about it offline. But we had a sorority that needs to do service hours contact us, and they brought 6 or 8 people the very first time. They have now volunteered up 3 different events with us, bringing at least 4 volunteers at each one of those events. And all of it came through that Just Serve organization. So I'll be contacting each of your clubs this next year to try to get you involved in that. It's worth it. And it's young people. That would be
amazing.
You know, and
we had a little girl that said, her mother contacted us and said, my daughter is turning 16 and she wants to volunteer for her birthday. So she brought the entire birthday party to our project, and they all volunteered.
See, getting active Leo programs, you know, and that starts creating the next generation of service-minded people, right? So,
anybody else? I know I've kind of monopolized a little bit. I don't mean to, but okay. If there aren't any other questions, I think I can see everybody on here. Len, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day. It was well worth it. It was a great class. Just gets us motivating, gives us something to think about, and that we can bounce off of each other. And that's what it's about.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I hope to see some of you at the USA Canada Leadership Forum. I'm now the Dean of the Masters Program, so I'll be doing a session at the USA Canada Leadership Forum on strategic planning. So if you'd like, come out, see that, and I'm sure we'll meet in other locations throughout the rest of our Lions career. And that's the great thing, is we always look forward to seeing our new friends again. And like in Lions, we're all friends. Just some of us haven't met yet. So thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, folks, let me remind you before I end the recording, let me remind everybody, and so that when people are watching this, that we have a training the last Sunday of every month. And next, so our April training will be a lion by the name of Jeremy Bear. He's a past district governor out of Baltimore, Maryland, and he will be teaching on leadership styles. And I think that would be really a valuable class to have our upcoming club presidents, vice presidents, our zone chairs, our region chairs, anybody that's looking to hone their leadership skills. Have them come to this. So it'll be the same time, 3:00, last Sunday of the month in April. So anyway, folks, I really appreciate you taking the time. This was a great class. We went just over an hour, and I just appreciate all of you. So you take care. I'm going to end this recording now, folks.
Alan, good to see you.